Good morning, everyone. Inspector Deal here. Very quickly, I'm retired from the fire department after 37 years of service. I've been teaching in high rise buildings and multi story buildings and one-story buildings for companies and building managers for 41 years. And one of the most important things I talk about is home fire safety because that's where we die. Today, I have some basic information about holiday pre-fire planning I want to share with you. And number one, there are specific laws if you try to put a Christmas tree or decorations in a business where the public frequents. Places of assembly, certain type of occupancies, you can't have live Christmas trees. So be sure you contact your fire marshal, your local fire authority having jurisdictions to see what the laws are. Run everything through them, have them come inspect it to make sure that it's safe. Number one, we want to be safe. Number two, we want to be legal. Um, Natural trees drink a lot of water. You got to be careful. The problem is that they dry out, and you got to be careful with the type of lights. So you can get all that information from them. If you have decorations, um, they have to be tested if you have them in the public where the public frequents. If they're even allowed, they have to pass a stringent test described in the National Fire Protection Association handouts for this type of item. Number one, cause of fires in homes all the time is cooking, and we cook more around the Christmas season, holiday season, if you will, and it's number one. The most dangerous place in your house is your stovetop. Um, so they account fires, cooking fires accounts for an annual average of 400 fatalities and almost $800 million in damages. A couple of things about cooking. You can get more stuff from your local fire department or authority having jurisdiction. Never leave cooking unattended. Turn the pot handles away from the front of the stove to the back or the side, but don't position them over another lit burner because that can start a fire or burn yourself. Be sure you use pot holders. Wear short sleeves, not those flowing sleeves that can catch on fire. You just shield yourself from scalding steam when you open a pot to check or a lid. Uh, Keep boilers, ovens, stovetops, and exhaust ducts free from grease. You should actually have your Vinahood pipe checked to be sure it's clean of grease uh, and that the filter's there. A lot of people, the filter gets so greasy and nasty, people just throw it away. Then the cooking, which is especially the frying in your home, the when you fry bacon or fish or French fries, whatever, the grease goes into the Vinahood, which many times don't even go through the attic to the outside of the roof. They just go in the attic. So all the years that you're frying stuff, you're filling your attic full of grease, and you have a fire on the stove, and you do something very dangerous. You put it out, let's say, or try to. You think it's out. If you're normal, you're not going to call the fire department because you don't want your neighbors that talk about you anyway to talk about you. So the Vinahood pipe burns, it goes into the attic, and by the time you know it's on fire, your whole attic could be involved in flames. So have that cleaned regularly um, to be sure that it does go through the roof. If not, you put it through the roof, have them put it through the roof, and that will make it a bit safer. Um, if you have a fire on the oven, turn the oven off. Don't open the door and call the fire department. Um, by the way, in most jurisdictions, you can't have a fire and put it out and not call the fire department. They want to come look at all fires. You don't want to touch a fire last, um, because you could have a fire, think you have it out, leave, it rekindles, like even happens to the fire department. It burns your house, then burns the house next door and kills the baby. So all the authorities are going to say they should have called the fire department. If you did, the child would be alive. So never have a fire, and put it out, which is very dangerous, without calling the fire department. So don't worry about your neighbors talking about you, because they already talk about you. You can't keep neighbors from talking about you. If you're smart, they're jealous. Frying a turkey, very dangerous if you ask me. I got a document here. There's 16 things you have to do. So if my wife wants a turkey fried, I'm going to go buy one. I'm not doing all this stuff. And it's very dangerous. Candles. The best candle is a fake candle that has not a flame, but has a flickering light. Any open flame is dangerous. Any open flame. So I would get candles that have a flickering light that gives you the atmosphere, and not a real candle. Smoking. If you have people over, smoking, no smoking in the house. Smoking is number 3 or number 4 on the list of what starts fires in homes. Number 1 is cooking. The stovetop's the most dangerous. Number 2 in homes is electricity. Number 3 up north is heaters, because it gets really cold. In the south, it's 4, but then smoking comes right there after that. So up north, in the south, it's number 3 when it comes to starting fires, smoking paraphernalia. Fireworks, they're illegal in most jurisdictions. They're dangerous. I don't buy my grandkids fireworks. I take them to fireworks shows. They're very dangerous, and they're illegal in most jurisdictions. Smoke detectors are a must. I have never found a dead person in a fire where there was a smoke detector that was working in the room or in the area, unless they were dead before the fire started, or they're very, very young and they can't, or very, very old and they can't get out of their bed, etc. They're the best. The best thing to do is have one in every room, except where they cause nuisance alarms. You don't want to have them near the kitchen area, because cooking will set them off all the time and irritate you. Where the hot water is near the shower, or in the washer, near the washer and dryer. They don't work good in the attic because of the dust and humidity. There you can put a rate of rise heat detector and still have your coverage. The smoke detectors that I like are the ones that are interconnected through the whole house. So if one goes off, they all go off. They wake everybody up. The way you can tell which one is activated is there'll be a little light on the one that's actually activated. So smoke detectors are the best. Follow the instructions. At least have one in every sleeping area, but in every room except for where they cause nuisance alarms is the best. Change the battery at least once a year or when it chirps. Test it once a month. Let your kids hear what it sounds like so they know what that noise is. And then they can evacuate to the predetermined safe area next door outside that you have chosen. You can vacuum the vents in the detector at least once a year with your vacuum cleaner in those long bristles or hairs, if you will. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions on the placement of them. And the National Fire Protection Association says you should replace them every 10 years. So the homes in America that have smoke detectors in them, 92% of the homes in America have smoke detectors in them, we should say. But 1/3 of those don't work because the batteries are dead or the batteries are missing. Green Christmas trees are very dangerous. You should dispose of the tree when it starts dropping its needles. If you're going to buy one, don't buy one that's dried out, and make sure it's fresh. Be sure it's not brown, that there's no needles falling. If you drop it on the ground a few inches and needles fall off, you don't want that one, because if it does burn in your house, it will burn like somebody has poured gasoline on it. When you get through with your Christmas tree, you should dispose of it appropriately. Don't leave it in the house. Don't put it in the garage, and don't lean it up against the house. You want to buy one as fresh as possible. You you want to cut it or have them cut it for you, kind of diagonally, cut about 1 inch off the bottom. You want to be sure it's in a secure base that holds an ample amount of water, and you'll be surprised how much water a Christmas tree will drink the first 3 or 4 hours that you put it in water, or the first day. Be sure and check it every day to be sure it has plenty of water so it doesn't dry out and become a special fire hazard. Keep all spark-producing devices at least 3 feet away. Don't put it near the fireplace or any kind of candles if you do use lit candles. And don't try to burn the Christmas tree when it's over. When you're done with it, dispose of it appropriately, but don't burn it. And get rid of it as soon as possible. You should have your heater, if you have a gas heater, winterized. Have a licensed heater expert come and check out your heater to be sure that the heat exchanger is not cracked and carbon monoxide is leaking into your house. And be sure that the heater is lighting appropriately and not lighting too late, post lighting, which means the gas goes into the burner and then the igniter lights too late and you hear a woof in the attic, or you go up there and there's black marks against the outside wall of your heater. Have them check your gas furnace to make sure the gas fireplace, to be sure that it's lighting appropriately and be sure it's clean and not post lighting. Have them check all your gas appliances. Your gas stove, your gas hot water heater will post light and you'll have black marks on the outside of your gas hot water heater. Have them check the gas dryer for leaks and all other gas appliances. Fireplace that burn real wood, or even if you have one that's a gas heater, gas fireplace, follow the instructions and the warnings very matter of factly. If you have a wood burning fireplace, use a screen. Be sure you have a flash arrestor or spark arrestor at the top of the chimney to keep the sparks from flying out and embers. Never put paper or flammable liquids in a fireplace. Don't burn your Christmas wrappings in your fireplace. Very dangerous. Make sure the damper is open before you start it, and be sure and use seasoned wood as per the instructions that came with the fireplace. You got to have the correct wood. It should be a hardwood. You don't want to put pine in there because it makes creosote, which when it catches on fire, I'm told burns 2,000 degrees, which can burn your house down. And you don't want to use wood like cedar because it pops real bad. The embers could fly out onto your carpet or your rug. So you want to, if you have portable heaters, they're very dangerous. Follow the instructions and warnings. Don't use extension cords. Keep them 3 feet away from any combustibles. Be sure the wiring is good and not frayed. And when purchasing a heater, be sure that it has a tip over cutoff device, which if it does fall over, it will turn itself off. And the main thing is you have to have a plan for your family when there's a fire. Everybody has fires. You can't say, I hope I don't have a fire. Hope has no power. Hope is not a method. Prepare for a fire. Prepare for the worst so that you don't have a disastrous fire. Then you can sleep good. You don't have to worry about this. When you have a fire, or before you have a fire, have a plan and practice it. When you have a fire in your home, don't try to fight it. It's very dangerous. Just get everybody out. Call the fire department. You must have a meeting place outside that's a safe place where you can make account of your family. Don't go back into a burning building for anything. No valuables, no pets. Even people that go back into a burning building for their loved ones usually never come out. And no one, just like in any area of your life, no one's going to take better care of you or your family better than you. It's my pleasure. Have a happy holiday and have a Merry Christmas.